It's moon ritual time once again. I feel like we were just talking about this, and you know why? Because you can never have enough devotion, if you ask me personally. Hey guys, what's happening? It's Meshi with Path to Wellness with Meshi. How are you doing today? I need to stop asking this. Seriously, we had this conversation before. Today, we are entering into the full moon in Virgo. Actually, if you're watching this, that means that it's Tuesday, and it's time for another full moon ritual. Now, before we even get into the ritual, here's what we're going to cover in today's video. We're going to talk about, briefly, I will mention a few things about the moon cycles and why it's important to follow it. We're going to go through the actual ritual. I will also guide you through a short little guided meditation. And if you want, we can also show you just a few of the journaling prompts, and I will leave some questions down in the description so that when you are sitting down and you are journaling or you are doing the meditation with me, you have something that you can kind of fall back into. So if that sounds good to you, then let's not waste any more time and let's just get started with the video. Let's talk first about why would you want to follow the moon cycles. The reason why you would want to follow the moon cycles is very simple. It's because it allows you to be more in tune with Mother Nature. It allows you to live in a more cyclic way rather than constantly pushing and striving. And when you connect a little bit deeper, then you realize that everything works in cycles. Everything, the seasons, the time, the way that we measure things, everything, each chapter of your life, all of those things, they work in cycles. Nothing is ever just go. Once you understand that, then you know how to tune in, and you know how to tune into the energies of the moon, then it allows you to flow more with it rather than to push against the current, basically. That's sort of the simplified version of it. Obviously, you can do a little bit more research as to the different cycles of the moon and why that's important, but ultimately all it comes down to is that there's 8 cycles of the moon, and there's the new moon, which represents the new beginning. Right now we're at the full moon, where the moon is illuminated the most, and then from this point on, from the full moon until the new moon, it's going to start losing more and more light. But when the moon is the most illuminated, that's when it's the strongest in power, and that's sort of when you have to tune in, really work with that cycle, and this is your opportunity to sort of take some time and reflect on what's working and what's not working. Keep doing the things that are working for you and really see what has shifted and what has changed for you that is no longer working. Because if you have the opportunity to do that, then you are going to be more working with Mother Nature. Now that we understand cycles, how does that relate to me? Well, it relates to you because, and then why rituals? So like the whole why rituals thing, you don't need to have a ritual, but really a ritual is just a set of actions that you do, a set of it's just basically creating a sort of like a recipe or an outline of certain things that you do, which sort of signals to your body that now it's time to go deep within. Now it's time to do more inner work rather than outer work. It's time not to mingle, but right now it's time to fully manifest whatever our intentions were. And if you are reading about the law of attraction, if you are working with more spiritual practices, it will serve you well because it allows you to kind of slow down and really reflect before you run out there and take more action. And I think that that's ultimately, this is as simple as I want to keep it, because you can make it as woo as possible, or you can keep it as simple as you need to. I think that there's a difference between honoring the fact that you are in tune with Mother Nature and you make no apologies for it, and you want to learn and discover more and how that applies to your life. But the only way that it can really apply to your life is when you apply it, when you take these practices and really start working with it and see what's working and what's not, which also means that some of these practices that you do, they will change over time. Some of your rituals will change, the crystals will change. Maybe you will use crystals, maybe you won't. Which brings me to my next point. So how are we going to be setting things up? I want to keep it simple for you. You can keep it very, very simple, and you do a quiet meditation for 5 minutes. And really the big thing is that you have your journal and a pen ready, and then you just write down whatever you want to shift out of that is no longer really feel true to you. And just go through the questions that I'm going to be leaving in the description box and see what changed. Did anything change? Because sometimes maybe you need to go through a few of those moon cycles in order for you to create like a larger change. That does not mean that underneath the surface things are not already molding into something different that you want. So don't ever underestimate the fact that just because something hasn't come to its full fruition, whatever goals or whatever dreams you're working on right now, it does not mean that it's not working in your favor. And you taking the time, and even just watching this video and taking the time to have an interest in this, it's already telling me that you're already open and receptive. And sometimes that's like the biggest thing, like your sense of attitude towards being open and receptive to potentially making changes and really working with the energies of the moon is like one of the biggest steps. It's not the biggest transformation does not happen when your dreams come true. The biggest transformation happens when you can't see the change taking place and you're still going to move forward anyway. So just hope that you take that to heart when you're setting up your rituals. And then if you're wondering really how simple can you keep it, you can keep it as simple as possible. The main thing is that you have to write down whatever you are ready to release at this given time, and then you basically release that, whether you burn that piece of paper or you bury it or you throw it out, but you want to destroy that piece of paper. And then if you want to go further, then you can work with the energies of the crystals. You can set up the environment where you are affecting the sound, you are affecting the scent, you are affecting the lighting. So all of your senses can be involved, but you don't have to. So I will take you over to my meditation space in a couple of minutes, but I just wanted to chat with you as to what you can expect and why it's important to work with the moon. And then after that, we can just hop on over, go through our guided meditation, and really just let things go that are no longer really serving us at this given time. This is also a perfect time for me personally because it happens to be the day after my birthday, which is how perfect is that for me to really reflect for a full year of what has shifted, and really at this point, what are the characteristics of my belief systems that are really truly ready to be shed and let go of. So this is a personal one for me because it's so close to my birthday that I wanted to really take that time, and I really wanted to talk to you from more of a sense of not necessarily rushing through this process, but really taking the time and being mindful about it, because I guarantee you, when you start tuning in to the moon around the time when your birthday happens to be, and it might be at the full moon, it might be at the waxing phase, it doesn't matter, but just the simple fact that you become aware of when that happens and what has shifted from the last year from your last birthday to this birthday, like the changes are astounding, because it's crazy how fast your mind can change and how much you can change as a person within a year. Imagine what is possible for the next 3 to 5 years. That's all I can say. So without further ado, without keeping you here any longer, let's hop on over to my meditation space and let's just get things set up. So to cleanse first, you can either use a Palo Santo or you can use a smudge stick. I have a rainbow aura crystal, a rose quartz, a labradorite, 2 selenite ones, a tourmaline, and a tiger's eye. And then, of course, something to actually catch the ashes, and you need a lighter. Okay, so first we're going to open up the window so that all the smoke can actually get outside, and just light up the smudge stick so that we can actually cleanse all of the crystals that we just went through.
So make sure that all the smoke goes completely around all of your crystals before you move on to the next one. Here I'm just kind of speeding through this because you've probably seen me do this a few times. Once you have cleansed your crystals though, make sure that you actually cleanse the space and you also cleanse yourself as well. So that, I didn't do that on camera, but honestly, you never want to forget that part. So find a quiet space. If you're using incense, this would be the time where you can light it up. If you are using crystals, if you are using any form of scent, and this would be the time when you can start using them. Take a deep breath and slowly close your eyes. Make sure you're comfortable. Deep breath through the nose and slowly exhale through the mouth. Another deep breath through the nose and feel yourself slowing down your breathing. If you need a couple of breaths with your eyes open, this is perfectly fine. And then slowly shift to the part where you're closing your eyes. And if you have a difficult time slowing down your breath, then take an inhale for 2, hold it for 2, exhale for 2, hold it for 2. If you need to check in, you can place your hands on your tummy. Inevitably, this is a pure demonstration of what happens in any meditation practice. When you sit down and you get centered, somebody will come and interrupt you. And I just wanted to leave that in for you because this is real life. And if it's not your family members, then your thoughts. Something will arise and inevitably you will have to return back to your breath and back to the center of what you're focusing on. So take a deep breath and let it all go. And the deeper you breathe, the more oxygen can come in, which means that the deeper you can actually connect. Do a quick self-check-in. See how your body's feeling today. Do you need extra support? Do you need to lean against the wall? If you can stay in this focused state, you will feel like you're weightless and your entire body is functioning as one. What is coming up for you? What is that dark side of you that is ready to be left behind? Which version of you is ready to come out under the light and be in full force into the next chapter of your life? What does she look like? Contemplate and ponder that for a moment. What are your words, your 3 words that represent who you're stepping into in this next cycle? Remember and take some time to say goodbye to that old version of you that is now finally ready to be left behind. Deep breath. and slow exhale for a count of 3. Okay, so once your meditation is completed, I'm going to give you a few journal prompts that you can use. I will also leave them also in the description so that you have some written reference. First question is, I used to believe that, and then fill in the blank. I used to ask for that from. I'm ready to change that because. And then the last but not least is the new me is, and I want you to pick 3 words that represent the new version of yourself. And now you're ready to rip the paper and you can do whatever you need to do with it.
Thank you so much for taking the time to join me in this very special full moon of the winter. I hope that you have enjoyed it. I hope that you liked it. If you did, you can give me a thumbs up. Obviously, you can also subscribe to the channel if you are brand new here. We chat here about 3 times a week. I usually release a video about Tuesday, Thursday, and then once on the weekend. The days might change, but really usually you do see 3 videos from me. And because we kind of go into a few different topics, sometimes we talk about spirituality and spiritual practices. Other times we talk about the zero-waste lifestyle and how we can become a more conscious human, which to me, they all kind of speak to the same person anyway. And other times we just talk about mindset shifts and how we can really manage anxiety and mental health a little bit easier and a little bit better, especially if you are stressed and overwhelmed. So because we kind of go into a few different topics throughout the week, you might not know what I'm going to be releasing when. And so to help you out and to be a little bit more conscious of your time, I usually release a recap email every single Sunday to help you out. So here, I usually tell you some of the best takeaways from each of my videos, and I show you also what's coming up for the following week. That way, you don't miss anything. If you wanted to sign up, completely free and complimentary to make your life a little bit easier, link is down in the description, so you can check that out. And in the meanwhile, keep following the moon, you guys, and keep shining your light, because you're so much more powerful than you think. And I will see you guys again in my next video.